Well, Sean Lang here with PWE, Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast. And right now, I want to remind everybody to check out Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast now on Spreaker.com, also on Apple Podcasts as well, as we're launching our audio version of PWE. We'll be back on YouTube periodically as well. And now we want to introduce our special guest here on Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast. We call him the godfather of freelance wrestling and freelance underground. The Purple Papi, Matt Knicks, is here at PWE. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And we're talking about freelance underground. Same old situation. Make sure to check that out October 22nd. It's going to be one hell of a show all the way in Joliet. And then Freelance Wrestling, October 21st. The event name is to be announced. And we'll know more information at the end of the week.
Yeah. I believe we have a name set. We've settled on a name, but that'll be a surprise for when the flyer drops.
I gotcha. And last month was a fun one as well. It's September, fucks. I mean, Trevor Outlaw is yeah. I know you're not a big fan of it, but
it was okay. It was clever.
You were on Warrior Wrestling recently against Luigi Primo, and you've got a big match Saturday. Dreamwave Wrestling presents Trick or Treat. You're taking on 2Gage and Hunter Holcraft. You're teaming up with Chris Castro as the 4-star heroes, so that should be an interesting one. Yeah,
I'm really excited to tag with Castro again. I know we don't really get to tag that often anymore, and Dreamwave Wrestling, we had a great time there in years past, and now that they're back again full time, a lot of great memories in LaSalle. A lot of the crowds there are great. The fans are great, and we're excited to hopefully get a W this time out.
Yes. Is that at Knights of Columbus where they used to hold AAW?
The last one was. This one will be, I believe, an outdoor show.
Oh, okay.
At La Grotto's Pizza is the sponsor of the show, so I think they're hosting it as well.
Oh, nice. That should be a fun one. And there's a lot of big names from AEW on that card too.
Yeah, I think Fuego is going to be on that show. Lance Archer, Gift Garrison, and who am I missing? Well, Luigi Primo.
Yeah, Davey Richards as well.
Davey Richards will be there.
Yeah,
and Lindsay Dorado, a former Dreamwave mainstay in his own right.
Yeah, but front and center, you can't admit Vic Capri, the ice pick. He's gonna be there.
Vic will be there. He's the new Dreamwave world champion, so he'll definitely be there. For sure.
It'll be exciting. So I wanted to start off and say that whenever fans hear freelance wrestling, I think you come to mind, among other freelance originals. So, talk about why we still have this great promotion in Chicago for the past 8 years. What's a testament to?
I mean, it's kind of wild that it has lasted as long as it has. I mean, as far as me being in wrestling, I've seen many companies come and go, and the fact that we've been able to stick around for 8 years now and counting, I think is a testament to the fans, for them still wanting to see the shows that we put out and being entertained by them and still coming back for more.
Definitely. And I feel like the shows are different. Each show has a different feel, a different vibe to it as well. It's not just like a rotation of the same roster, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep it as fresh as possible, because you don't want to, like you said, have the same people every single time. Like, you'll definitely see a lot of the same people, but we'd like to rotate in different people as well to kind of make it a must-see show and be like, oh, well, I was there last month and I didn't get to see this person because they weren't there this time. And, it's just keep it fresh.
For sure. How much of the pro wrestling consumes your life at this point where you need to take those breaks from the business?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, working at Pro Wrestling Tees full time, and then doing freelance and trying to get back out there on the road as well with wrestling is takes up a big chunk of my time. But I've learned through the years that it's important to have good balance in your life and to have time for other things, whether it is hobbies, family and friends and stuff. So it does take a good chunk of my time and my life, but I do balance it pretty well to not go insane.
That's good. That's good. And where do you feel freelance wrestling's headed after the last event? It's Trevtember, fucks. It was a show that felt different. To me, it had a more serious tone. I don't know if other people felt that. It felt more about the ring action, and it was less comedy, I thought, than norm.
Well, we like to have a good balance on the shows as well. Obviously, we love to have the serious wrestling moments, but we also love to have the, like you said, the comedy and just entertaining aspects of the shows. So to kind of in the same way that we do the roster rotation, we sometimes like to mix up the shows a little bit too, just so that way they're not becoming stale and predictable.
Definitely. And I do commend you guys on that. We have another big event coming up for Freelance Underground, same old situation. It's back at Joliet on the 22nd. The fans are going to be expecting a match with Tankman and Joe Alonzo. It's going to be competitive. And you got also Shazza McKenzie versus Billy Starks, two of the top women in the world. I think in the world. So I think it's going to be a great show.
Absolutely. And like people are sleeping on those underground shows, man, because there are some really, really good talent and matches on those cards that, to the wrestlers' credit, like, a lot of times, unfortunately, like the crowd is not there all the time. We've all done shows where the people are not really showing up, but these guys go out there, these guys and gals go out there and they kill it every single time. And people are sleeping on these underground shows, and I can definitely see a trend in the right direction for the Freelance Underground product, that like people are going to start recognizing that, oh, this is like, on the same level as the freelance shows in Logan Square, and like they're going to need to not miss them as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've been out to the Church Street Brewery ones. Those were fantastic and got some fun content as well. And yeah, those shows were can't miss. And I think a couple of them were sellouts too.
Yeah, and if you have an IWTV subscription and these shows are on there, check them out. You're not going to be disappointed.
Oh, definitely. I'll make sure to post that link in the bio for this one as well, so everybody checks that out. And what does a talent have to do for them to impress you? For you to give them a shot at freelance wrestling and say, you're worth either the plane ticket or the gas mileage, if they're not from this area?
It really all just depends. Like for one, I don't handle any of the booking stuff anymore, but
okay.
A lot of times it is like just a happenstance, because whether it's like, oh, somebody came with a carload, or we see, unfortunately we it is sometimes like, oh, are these people kind of blowing up on the scene in their own right? Because we do like to pride ourselves in giving people opportunities, but at the same time it is a business, and we need to put forth a card and talent on the card that we know will probably move tickets. So it really is kind of just like, if we know we can see like which talent is out there working hard and grinding and fighting for those opportunities, and like we will definitely reward those opportunities as well, just like any other company.
Definitely. And how does it feel to have the validation of the freelance locker room after a show or your individual match? Like, is it really tight knit? Everybody like supports each other, gives each other feedback?
Yeah, I think I would say for the most part it's pretty tight knit. I mean, everybody's watching everybody's matches. You know, everybody's like on that. Like if you look up in the balcony on any show, you'll see it, pretty much everybody, especially if it's the main event. You'll see everybody out there, you know, watching and just soaking it all in. And because it's awesome to kind of experience the match in its own right, but also to see and hear and feel that crowd reaction that
Definitely.
usually comes with it.
For sure. And sometimes the wrestlers will be staying next to you too in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I definitely like to go sometimes down into the crowd and kind of be amongst the people and see their reactions and hear their reactions firsthand. It's great.
Definitely. And now when you were part of the Freelance Wrestling Academy, right? You're not, I don't think you're there anymore, right? As a trainer?
So I own the academy, but I'm not
Okay.
a trainer there.
Okay.
I always said, I was like, I'm still learning stuff. I don't think I'm nearly ready to be training anybody. But well, I made sure to surround the school with the best possible trainers I could find that I
Sure.
trust and I know that the students are in the right hands with them, and that's Isaiah Velasquez, Kylie Rae, and Robert Anthony. And now we have Gringo Loco as well coming around and helping out whenever he's around. And sometimes we're lucky to have Mustafa Ali come through and roll around with the kids as well. So it's a really good environment, and you know we're hoping to keep growing it and seeing where that goes.
Sweet. That's cool about Gringo Loco. I know he's a freelance alum, right? He was featured at freelance events in the past.
Yeah. He was with us for quite some time.
Now, when someone wants to train to be a pro wrestler, what are the trainers looking for in them?
I would say, and I don't want to speak for them
Mhm.
directly, but I would say that they usually just look for someone who's willing to listen, that's going to work hard and just absorb as much information as they can. And if you try, that's all they really want. They want to see you try. They want to see you succeed. They want to help you, but if you're not going to help yourself, you know, it is what it is.
Definitely, yeah. It's a strong commitment. I'm sure at that point.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a commitment.
Yeah, it's not something you can do like recreationally, like I take a martial arts class or something like that.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can. I mean,
Mhm.
there is nothing wrong with that as well. But like, if you, the old verbiage for that is like usually you get what you put in. You get out of
Mhm.
it what you put in. So if you're not putting in the most effort that you can, and you're not trying as hard, you're probably not going to go that far. Maybe you'll just, you know, as they say, like you'll be like a local person, or if you put in the hardest work you can and you're grinding, you know, you'll go far, and
De-
usually that'll be rewarded.
Definitely, and we have guests that come through periodically. Some of them are planned, and some of them aren't. I think Will Ospreay got a chance to talk to some of the freelance trainees when he was doing the meet and greet, and Chris Hero did a seminar recently, and he was at
Yeah.
freelance a long time ago. He did like one or two shows. So that wealth of experience, that must have made for some interesting class time, right? Oops, I think you froze on me. Oh, there,
You
you're
there?
back.
Sorry,
Yeah, yes, no
we
worries.
froze.
No, I was just saying the wealth of experience he had must have made for some interesting class time.
No, it was incredible, and the students were very appreciative of having him there. And we did the seminar. We started probably about 7 o'clock on that Thursday, and we were there well past midnight, and just like listening to him tell stories. And you know, everybody was asking questions, and we went through each of our strengths and weaknesses and how we feel like we could improve on that. And like
Mhm.
it was a very beneficial seminar, I feel, and I know that a lot of the kids felt the same way.
Definitely, it's not necessarily like in the ring, right? It was more like a discussion.
Yeah, like we kind of all had like a little round table discussion.
Mhm.
And I personally feel like those are more beneficial seminars than in-ring
Yes.
stuff, because a lot of times when you do the in-ring seminars, it takes a bit more time to get through things because, you know, there's always going to be one person that like maybe isn't catching up with the stuff as fast, and you kind of have to slow down and go at a different pace. And then depends on how many people are doing the seminar, because if the more people that are there, it's a bit harder. So I genuinely feel that the spoken word ones are not that the in-ring ones aren't beneficial, but the talking ones, you feel like you can get more out of them.
For sure. I'll tell a couple of my friends that they are, wrestling trainees, or they've trained to wrestle. So, who else do you like to see do seminars for Freelance Wrestling Academy?
That I would like to see?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, right off the top of my head, the one that I would kill to have would be to have William Regal come through and do a seminar. I think that would be incredible. Let me think who else. I would love to have Cabana come through and do a seminar, especially since he's local. He can come through whenever.
Yes.
Gosh, I'm not really sure. I mean, pretty much anybody with TV experience, I feel like would be beneficial, because that's just a whole different perspective of wrestling that they can bring and help kids with.
Yeah, definitely. Matt Cardona. I just playing.
Oh yeah, no, I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, I just, because of all the years he's had in being on TV since he was a rookie till now. So
yeah, literally.
And Trevor Outlaw. Let's talk about Trevor. This is a bit of rivalry.
Let's talk about Trevor.
Yeah. I mean, what can we expect when you're in the ring finally? Are you going to beat this young punk or what? I mean, let's just get to it.
I mean, what can I say about Trevor? I got a lot of respect for him for doing what he feels is the best path for his career. But he's gonna learn the hard way that, when you poke the bear, sometimes you're gonna get hurt.
Definitely.
That's
and
all I got to say.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
That's all I really got to say about that. He's gonna learn today.
Can't wait. Trevor Outlaw has been a staple of freelance wrestling. Now, even when he's injured, he's done roles as a manager. He's made various appearances. Has his appeal begun to wear off, or is he still a star regardless of being in front of the crowd? Because, usually when a star is injured, like Craig Mitchell, he'll disappear and he'll come make a triumphant return at his return show. But Trevor's has always had a presence at freelance since his injury.
I mean, I think he's definitely kept himself relevant. That's for sure. And I think his crowd reaction speaks for itself, whether or not the people care about him or not.
Definitely. And we can't forget that he had toilet paper and tampons thrown at him. Actually had some extra tampons thrown at him recently. So
yeah,
he definitely roused that crowd up.
Oh yeah, they love to hate him.
For sure. Now, he did use that picture of Cody Rhodes with the match you had at Cody at AEW Dynamite years ago. So seeing that made me wonder, do you have any communication with Cody since then? Just thought I'd ask.
Not really. I mean, we spoke a little bit after that match happened and texted back and forth, but really since then I haven't really conversed with him. I kind of felt like I didn't want to abuse the line of communication, so to speak.
I got you. And I think he's been doing big things in the WWE, right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
And are you involved in the creative behind the Freelance and Freelance Underground now? Do you have an input in that, or is it just not something you have a direct hand in?
Not directly. I pitch ideas here and there, but my focus is more of the in-ring stuff and then the business side of the shows. And I kind of let my team handle the creative aspect of it.
Definitely. Well, that's my next question. I wanted to talk about the business side, because you have sold out Logan Square Auditorium. You created the Emporium shows and a partnership there. So many factors that go into this. Can you point out which one is your key to success?
Gosh, I just consistency, I feel like is our key, currently at least. We still there.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Just the consistency of like our shows. I mean, we genuinely put on, I would say, pretty good shows every month, and people have associated that with our product. So it becomes easier to kind of, make these partnerships like the Emporium one, and to continue to sell tickets like we do every month at Logan Square as well. And the I guess the focus of every business should be to grow and to expand. And I'm not really sure what the future holds for us as a company, but I think we're on a pretty comfortable trajectory to keep growing here in Chicago. And I think that's kind of our plan right now.
Maybe some more venues coming.
I mean, that would be nice. It would have to it would just have to line up well. We don't want to grow too fast and then run out of money.
Definitely, I understand. And I know several months ago we had the Free Ali hashtag Free Ali. So we seen this, and obviously everybody had their own feelings about it. We all wanted to see Ali be happy, and do what he wants to do. Now, currently in WWE, do you think this might be settled, or how do you feel about it? I'm sure you have a lot of personal feelings, but
I mean, I feel like things must have smoothed over. I mean, he's being featured on television quite a bit now, and at the end of the day, he's a good friend, and I know he has a wonderful family, and I want the best for him and the best for his family, and to have a job and a consistent income coming in is pretty much the goal there. So I know people are like, oh, we want him to leave and go to AEW and do this, do that. And it's just like, well, I mean, whatever. I don't know what his personal feelings are really. But I know for him, he above all else wants to make sure his family is taken care of. So that seems to be happening. So I'm glad for him. I'm happy.
For sure. And for his fans, I'm sure he has a big international following at this point as well. So, and for WWE does travel, and they put on shows in all corners of the world. So I have to believe that would be a factor, right?
Yeah, I would say so too. Yeah.
And let's talk about Luigi Primo and Warrior Wrestling. How did you first come about Luigi? Seeing him, was it the video clip from the Wrestling with Unicorns, or did you know him before then in the Texas wrestling scene?
So funny enough, I actually remember seeing clips of him a couple years prior, and I remember seeing, like, I was like, it was some show in Texas. It's like a brewery, and I remember seeing clips of this dude throwing a pizza around, and I just remember being like, oh, that's cool. I like that. Like that's fun. I love fun and goofy characters in wrestling, and I was like, that's awesome. I like that. That's very unique. I've never seen that before. And then I'd never really thought about it again until recently, when the Unicorns clip started going viral, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. That's cool. And then I didn't think about it again. And then a couple days later, it was just blowing up, and it was like the biggest thing.
Yes.
That's awesome. Good for him. And just to see like his little run that he's been having like on AEW, and just like getting booked everywhere. And when Warrior reached out about having me wrestle with him, I was like, that's awesome. Like I have so many ideas. And I got to spend the day with him. I picked him up from the airport and everything. So we got a little time to bond as well. And I'm like, oh, he's a really cool dude. I like this guy. And funny enough, I was just printing one of his t-shirts today at work, And
Nice.
I sent him like a time lapse video of it, like printing, and he's like, "Oh, that's so cool."
Sweet.
Luigi Primo is a really good guy. I like him.
Yeah, me too. I think he's fantastic, and you just wish him the best, and hopefully we'll see him more in the area in the future. You know, I think he's going to be at the Dreamwave show, but
Yeah, yeah, he'll be there on Saturday.
and I have to talk about Kylie Rae. You know, we all big fans of Kylie Rae and everything she's doing. We understand she had to take a couple sabbaticals over the course of the career. We haven't seen her in freelance for a couple months, but I mean, how do you feel about her approach to her career recently? Maybe like the less is more approach. Is that what she's aiming for? Or,
I think she's just doing it at her own pace and
Mhm.
not letting anything overwhelm her too much, and just having fun and
Yeah.
taking it day by day. I think that's the important thing. And she's having a great time training the kids. Like she loves the being a trainer, and she's got a wealth of knowledge, and she's a hell of an athlete and knows how to translate that towards teaching as well. So yeah, no, I think she's doing the right thing,
Mhm.
and taking the right steps to kind of continue her career in the way that she wants.
Yeah, I think that whatever is healthy for her, I'm happy for her. That's my opinion.
Hmm.
Someone healthier and someone healthier mindset is going to do better overall.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For sure. And she's made like appearances of like, mental health awareness, and she's made her presence on that and her sobriety. And, it's just great to see that. And she's inspired people I know personally.
Yeah, and I think that's super awesome. Like she's a very positive person. Like I've known her for quite some time, and she's always been a really bright light in anybody's life. And to see her helping people in other ways beyond just being their favorite wrestler is awesome
Hmm.
to me. And I know that probably means a lot to her as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, much respect for her and much love to Kylie Rae. And for yourself, do you ever wonder when you may just step aside and not wrestle in the ring anymore? Or
I think about that every day.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I do think about it. I was almost done last year.
Mhm.
But then stupid Pat Monix had to drag me back into wrestling. Um, but no, I enjoy wrestling, and I like what I'm doing now. Um, and I'm not really sure how much longer I'll be doing it, but I know that I think when I'm done, I'll be very happy with what I've done, and be happy to just kind of like continue just the business end of wrestling, and the school. Like it honestly, to see these kids start where they did and to where they are now, and to help elevate them, like that to me like means a lot more to me than anything that I could be doing personally. I mean, sure, like it's everybody wants to be a big time famous wrestler, but like
Mhm.
to be able to see these other kids like achieving their dreams and stuff like that is really cool to see. And I think that might be the move moving forward. We'll see.
Definitely, understandably. And you were in a scramble match at We're Gonna Plex Them. This was another sold out Emporium show. Devin Monroe won this match. And she, is a good wrestler, right? Talk about how good a wrestler
Hmm.
Devon is and why LGBTQ pro wrestling will, have a stage in Chicago, where it be freelance or other promotions.
No, yeah, I think above all else, like representation is very important, and whether it be LGBTQ wrestlers, wrestlers of color, um, or just anyone in general. Like I
Hmm.
think it's important to have a well-rounded card, and showing that like that there are great wrestlers and entertaining wrestlers in all walks of life, and you could see them all at freelance.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Brian Keith, he's the legacy champion of freelance. So definitely
Oh yeah,
representing. Yeah,
he's like my favorite wrestler right now in
nice.
all of wrestling. Love watching that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, him and Myron Reed, you guys just put on one heck of a match with that one. That's a match you have to watch multiple times just to get all of it.
Yeah, no, that was a great one. When they told me that that was their plan to book for the
Mm.
show, I was like, "Yep, that's awesome. I'm all for that."
And did you have any thoughts on Craig Mitchell returning? You know, he had an injury, and one of the freelance originals, a team beta guy. You know, great to see him return. Him with Kenny Sutra as team beta.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Craig back in the ring again. He's
Mhm.
always been, I mean, he's one of my best friends. I've always really looked up to him, and he's always been an incredible talent in the ring. And uh, get his has gotten sidelined with injuries in the past, but I feel like he's also in a good place mentally, physically, and I'm excited to kind of see what he does moving forward as well.
Yeah, me too. And then he came back with a strong momentum, winning that first scramble match, coming back, and he's going to work his way back up.
I think so too. Yeah, and I liked the last show. He got up in Monix's face, so hopefully we'll see those
Yes,
two guys throwing hands soon.
love that. Now, your last match at Dreamwave in LaSalle, I think it was the Summer Spectacular. You and Castro, teamed up as the four-star heroes, and you took on Steve Boz, Austin Roberts. Now, how was that going against those guys from your past?
Um, Very cool because both of those were two of our trainers when we
Hmm.
started wrestling. So it was kind of like a past meets present kind of thing, and to be able to share the ring with those guys again was awesome. And the crowds down in LaSalle are awesome. So like it was such an easy match to kind of do, and a lot of fun. And it was good seeing those guys again too. I haven't seen them in years.
Yeah, yeah. And Austin Roberts, I don't think he took a long time off from wrestling. I don't think he's been wrestling recently, right?
Yeah, no, this was like his first match back in quite some time. So he was a little nervous, but we were like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of you."
Definitely. And I know you have, the upcoming match with the four-star heroes. Guys have matches like Glory Pro as well as other promotions. So you and Castro, how much you enjoy tagging in those various promotions outside Chicago? You guys get a chance to work the heels at Glory Pro before as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very easy, especially with Castro. We have a lot of good chemistry together. We've known each other for years. Um, I do enjoy working the tag matches because gives you some chance to catch your breath on the apron a little bit when you get a little blown
Mhm.
up. But I do hope moving forward that we get to tag a little bit more. But where and when, that remains to be seen.
And when you're done, what do you want to be remembered for?
Um, I suppose just helping people, and
Mhm.
giving people a place to elevate themselves and to move on to bigger and better places, like getting signed to WWE or AEW, and just the legacy of freelance being a destination spot in independent wrestling.
For sure. I mean, also the PWI magazine has a lot of freelance wrestlers in it, including GPA, who's very proud, and he took pictures of himself buying the magazine on social media. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I
So,
did see that. Yeah.
and I know he didn't train at freelance originally, but still he's a staple of freelance.
Yeah, he's been around. uh I've known him since I started wrestling, and he's been around freelance damn near since the beginning. I would say probably 2015, 16 maybe
Mhm.
is when he started, but I mean, I would definitely consider him a freelance original as well.
For sure. You got to be proud of seeing all these PWI rankings come out.
Yeah, it's
Really,
awesome to see these people that I've known for years and how hard they work to get to those spots. It's awesome to see that, and they should be proud because they worked hard. and it's good to see them get the recognition that they deserve.
For sure. And my next question, or my last question, is merchandise. Talk about how we can get your merchandise for the Purple Papi, Matt Knicks, marvelous Matt Knicks.
Yeah, you can get my merchandise on prowrestlingtees.com/Matt Knicks, MATTKNICKS. There's a bunch of weird designs on there. I have a lot of purple shirts too, since a lot of wrestling shirts are all in black. So if you want a shirt that's not black, you want a purple shirt, go ahead and get one over there. I also have a shirt with my dog on it. It's this skinny looking Chihuahua that is very angry looking on it.
For sure. Everybody check that out as well. And we appreciate you, Matt Knicks, speaking on PWE. It is a pleasure to have you on once again. And hopefully we'll have you on sooner than a couple of years like last time, you know.
Was it a couple of years? Holy heck.
Yeah, I don't think we did it since your last Warrior wrestling show. But hey, you know what? It made for a good build up for the conversation.
Yes, we got to build to the next one. But thank you for having me on.
Oh,
and
anytime,
we'll make sure that the next time sooner rather than later.
Definitely. Take care. Best of luck.